Welcome back, fellow travelers. If you've been thinking about exploring the wonders of Egypt, you're in for an adventure of a lifetime. But before you start packing your bags, there's something important we need to talk about: getting your visa to Egypt. If you've been scratching your head about the new visa rules, you're not alone. Egypt changed its visa process for Canadians a year ago, and today, we're diving into the details. We'll cover the challenges, costs, processing times, and even spill the tea on why Egypt made things a little more complicated for us Canucks. Plus, stick around because we've got some insider tips to help make the visa process smoother than a camel ride through the desert. Do Canadian citizens need a visa to visit Egypt? Short answer: yes, you do. Whether you're going for business or tourism, a visa is required for all Canadian passport holders. Here's the kicker though: no more e-visas or visas on arrival for us. Since October 1st, 2023, you'll need to obtain your visa before you travel, and it must come from an Egyptian embassy, either in Ottawa or the consulate in Montreal. And yes, it's the old school type of visa, a sticker added to your passport. So, you can't just grab it online or at the airport anymore. But don't let that stop you. We've got the process laid out, so you'll know exactly what to do. How much does an Egyptian visa cost for Canadians? Here's the part everyone wants to know: the cost. Right now, you're looking at $150 Canadian for your visa. Not too bad when you consider all the stunning pyramids, temples, and Nile cruises you'll get to experience. How long does it take to get a visa from Canada to Egypt? This part depends on where you live. If you're in Ontario or Quebec, your visa could take 3 weeks or more to process. But if you're in other provinces, you might be able to snag yours in about 2 weeks. Either way, give yourself plenty of time because no one wants to be stuck waiting for a visa while their flight date creeps up. What about Canadians on a cruise? Do they need a visa? Great question. Whether you're arriving by air, sea, or even riding in on a camel, kidding, kind of, the answer is yes. Even if you're cruising, you'll need to have your Egyptian visa in hand before you arrive. Again, this can only be done at the Egyptian embassy or consulate in Canada. 3 tips for getting your Egypt visa without losing your cool. We know this process can be a little frustrating, but don't worry, we've got your back. Here are 3 golden tips to help you sail through the visa process like a pro. Apply early, and by early, we mean at least 2 months before your trip. That way, you can avoid any last-minute stress if there's a delay in processing. Triple check your application. This is not the time to be casual. Typos and errors can get your visa delayed or rejected. Make sure everything matches your passport info perfectly. Have your documents ready. You'll need a passport valid for at least 6 months, ideally a year, plus your flight and hotel reservations. Double check the spelling on everything. Your first and last name must be accurate across the board. Why did Egypt change the visa requirements for Canadians? Now, here's the juicy part. Why did Egypt make things harder for Canadians, anyway? The short answer: diplomatic drama. Canada made it tougher for Egyptians to get visas, and Egypt responded in kind. In fact, Rumors suggest the real trigger was when a prominent Egyptian was denied a visa by the Canadian embassy in Cairo. This didn't sit well with Egyptian officials, and boom, Canadians found themselves with stricter visa rules. A visa hassle, does it worth it? Okay, so the visa process is a bit of a headache, but let's be real, visiting Egypt is totally worth it. From the Great Pyramids to the Valley of the Kings, and that magical sunset cruise down the Nile River, Egypt is a bucket list destination that won't disappoint. Just plan ahead, follow our tips, and you'll be exploring the wonders of Egypt in no time.